I must not fall.
Inferior constructs.
You would love to day. Your worst decisions will haunt you.
Not rest.
People fear what they cannot understand.
Glad to see them.
Summoner's Rift. "30 seconds until minions spawn." Minions have spawned.
Head.
Red team has slain the dragon. Red team has slain the dragon. Turret plating will soon fall. team's turret has been destroyed. Red team's turret has been destroyed. dragon. Blue team's turret is destroyed. Blue team is Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Okay, welcome back to the finals of today's match. I'm Miguel, here to cast Game 2 and possibly onwards. So we have Burnaby North winning Game 1, with Van Tech almost bringing it back from their deficit with their scaling comp. Well, we will get to see what happens now. We get to see a Gravespan, a standard champion to have in the jungle, pretty strong. Leona as well on Burnaby North side. You have the Yone and the Mordekaiser. Okay. A mistake. Because they were not meant to ban Mordekaiser. Alright, and they're going back in. So Graves, Leona, we saw the Yone. Taking out these strong champions, generally strong champions, Yone being a good skirmisher, Graves also being one of those strong champions, Leona being someone with really easy to execute CC and Peel. We do see the Aurelia and the Victor ban. Aurelia on Van Tech's side, they do not want to see that Aurelia mid again. Got fairly fed and got to carry a lot of the game. Seraphine taking away a fairly strong support champ, even if with the nerfs. She's still pretty strong as a support, not as much as a mid laner or as AEC. The Mordekaiser making it through into their draft. Their Mordekaiser last game was pretty good, actually. They did pretty well against the Jax. Jax came back eventually, but Mordekaiser still kept up his lead. The Wukong this time being able to kind of slippery and grant those knockups in the middle of those team fights. Heckham as well, making his way through. And Twisted Fate this time for the mid. So Twisted Fate being a very well-picked champion in competitive play. He's up against a Vladimir this time. I would imagine it would have been an assassin because they did have the counterpick option. But since Rek'Sai is in the picture, not very much of a good idea to have two assassins at the same time. So understandable, just having someone who can counter scale against the Twisted Fate. We do see the Vayne and the Alistar. Vayne scaling fairly hard, and the Alistar being able to peel whatever gets into her danger zone. The Kai'Sa and the Nautilus, Kai'Sa being still very strong, even with the nerfs that she received, and the Nautilus, a good pick to complement Kai'Sa, being able to get her engage, and deal a lot of damage, especially against a Vayne. Although there's an Alistar, then there's not going to be much that they can do if Nautilus ends up getting onto the Vayne. But that is something that they're going to have to play around. The Galio ban, I saw someone say, the Galio ban I would imagine is to remove the chance to counter the Twisted Fate global ultimate. So it's not very much of or something that would complement their comp, but it's more something to make sure that they can't just follow Twisted Fate if he ends up roaming to, let's say, top lane if he wins, if bot lane if they need any help, just so that there's not that much safety when it comes to there being any more danger from mid lane. If we look at all their comps in general, I would imagine that the longer the game goes, Burnaby North would have some edge to it, Whereas I would imagine that Vantech would be playing more of an early game oriented and maybe even a team fight where they have Wukong with his ultimate. Vladimir, he can deal a lot of damage in a radius, really. Even being able to escape if he wanted to dive right in. Kaisa, same deal, pressing one button, damaging a lot of people. And there's the Nautilus, landing it on the Vayne. If anyone's in his way, if in the ultimate's way, or even around the whatever the target is, then they will get knocked up. That will lead up to maybe even the Rek'Sai getting onto whoever is the target there. And if it's someone as the Vayne, then that's really not a good place for, not a good thing for Burnaby North side. So that's something that Burnaby North needs to look out for, especially for the Alistar, maybe even the Hecarim, and sometimes even the Mordekaiser to get rid of their damage stats, that being maybe even the Rek'Sai or the Kaisa. For the jungle, I would like to think that Rek'Sai has a lot of presence, but we do know that Hecarim being a drive-by kind of champion, it's not going to do very well if he ends up getting there first. Rek'Sai will probably need to just be close to wherever the gank is to have some sort of impact. If he's somewhere in his jungle or even busy farming and not paying that much attention, then Hecarim could just gank a lane and Rek'Sai won't be able to get a chance to even counter gank him. So it's really up to Rek'Sai to stay on top of being on top of his ganks, or maybe even on top of his game when it comes to counter ganking. But I don't think that's something that Rek'Sai can do effectively against a Hecarim. So yeah, so it's more so gonna be Hecarim initiating the ganks, but Rek'Sai not being able to do something. So we're gonna have to see something along the lines of Rek'Sai ganking some other lane, or maybe even hovering a lane if they assume that Hecarim is gonna come by. So we do see the Wukong with the teleport, or sorry, the Ignite instead of the teleport. So it's gonna be more of him winning his lane. It wasn't doing so well as last time, but I would assume that the Wukong wants to win his lane better and get this lead instead of being a scaler. He did come back last time, as I said before, but it is something to think about. The Mordekaiser sticking with the teleport. We do see the Unsealed Spellbook on Twisted Fate, giving more variety. He doesn't need to stay on TP. He can even go Smite. I've seen that with my friend before, where he just switches to Smite and he got to a Baron Steel, just flash ignited, or flash smited, and their Baron was gone. He stole the Baron, and we ended up getting a big lead out of that. Burnaby North stacking in Tribe Rush. Defending against even a Nautilus. Maybe we could have seen an invade. I wouldn't think so, because we also see Twisted Fate, Alistar being able to CC, even push them away. But I would like to think that Vantech is stronger. As I said before, repeating myself, it's okay. Both starting in bot side, they will meet up top side, dropping a ward in Pixel Brush top from Vantech, the Rek'Sai. So yep, they'll meet up top. We'll need to see what they do afterwards. It does seem to be like the Hecarim is doing a full clear. Rek'Sai along the lines. We do see the quick trade up top. A nice chunk off of the Mordekaiser. Although Mordekaiser's thriving off of extended trades, Wukong be able to pick up on that, still going out for the trade. Mordekaiser not doing too hot top lane. Unfortunately, I would like to think that it's a better matchup for him top lane. The quick trade, he got level 2 first, though Alistar is a bit low, but it is something to think about that he is very tanky. So both junglers doing very standard clears, full clear, or not really actually. The Rek'Sai going for his red buff instead of Raptors. Instead of the standard full clear. We will need to see what happens afterwards. I would imagine that he would go into even... We might be able to see a gank of Rek'Sai. Nautilus is roaming to mid. Roaming mid. That was really close for the Wukong. If he got pulled from the Mordekaiser, it might have been game over for him. And getting the first blood, it's not much of a big deal because I said they were a scalar comp, but yep. Rek'Sai getting the first Scuttle Crab top lane. So he did leave his 2 camps. The Hecarim going into the invade just to take away his camps. This does not seem very... I wouldn't think it would be that optimal. Unless he wants to get his camps. Or it does, actually. My bad. He goes for the Grump as it comes back soon. But Hecarim does get some of a good amount of camps off of Rek'Sai. So we do see the quick trade onto the Mordekaiser. Pulls him back. It could have gone in more, but this is kind of a bait. So we might see the... Yep, we do see the first blood onto Hecarim. Wukong overstaying quite a bit and getting his life taken by Hecarim. Mordekaiser staying along to damage quite a bit. So this does put Burnaby North up pretty good. Yeah, it's trying to debate the Mordekaiser or even the Hecarim quite a bit over there. Rek'Sai is top side right now. It's not gonna look like he's gonna go for anything. He's looking for his camps that Hecarim did take over him. It is gonna be a mountain trick first, with Hecarim being bot side and Rek'Sai heading down to his bot side camps. Fantech's bot side do have the prio, so they can move or they can't look for a drag. But the Hecarim going in for the gank. We do see the exhaust onto the Kai'Sa. We do see the Twisted Fate to finish off the Kai'Sa with his ultimate. And he's just gonna TP back into lane. So now Burnaby North has the opportunity to get the Mountain Drake unless they go for the invade. It is a good option to go for the invade because they can't really do anything, and you are denying camps off of the Rek'Sai. So, Rek'Sai did go up to his top camps because he did not want to deal with what's happening bot side with this prio. They do not want to opt into the dragon though. The ultimate onto the Twisted Fate They are backing down. There are two ultimates going off for the Vladimir and the Hecarim. Nothing is gonna happen. Just trade ultimate for ultimate. It could have been a kill onto maybe even the Rek'Sai, but he did escape. Vayne does need to be careful because the Nautilus is still in the. He seems to be in the bush right now. Yep, going on to the Q onto him. He does Q him. He does attack him away, the Kaisa. So he does escape with that attempt of an all-in. Rek'Sai is bot, so he. If they end up. If the minions were any closer, then this would have been really good for a dive, but there weren't. They couldn't push it fast enough to their tower, so they couldn't get the chance to put Vayne even more behind that they want to. So top lane is doing really well right now. So they have a kind of a 10 minion CS lead. And he's getting it. Mordekaiser's gonna get the opportunity to reset. So do their bot lane right now. So they're gonna be able to purchase some of their items. So yeah, purchase some of their items that they kind of need. Nautilus is securing vision, so they're not. I would like to imagine if he were to go the other way, he would have been able to get something off, but he does not have any sweeper to sweep any of the area to even try and attempt to take away or get the get any more ahead than they want to. The Rek'Sai is sort of behind right now of the Hecarim, being 1 kill and assist away. And even like a few 2 camps behind from what happened. We're gonna see the blue buff onto the Twisted Fate, being able to stay onto his lane even longer. The Rek'Sai ganking onto the Mordekaiser. He is in the Death Realm right now. So he is going to have that 1v1 opportunity. Hecarim coming in. And he will take the kill off of the Rek'Sai. He will escape with his life. The TP onto from the Vladimir and the Twisted Fate ult. But that is not going to be anything that they were going to want in that. So it's not going to look too well onto that. They got a TP off of Vladimir where all three of their the mid laner, their top laner, and their jungler just died. Not even getting the kill onto the Mordekaiser with the ignite. So that's not gonna be really good for Vantech, but it's gonna be really good for Burnaby North. So Twisted Fate already on his Everfrost. I've seen this before where he goes Everfrost. He just gets to gold card onto whoever it is, and then because they're stunned, he gets to root them for free and get a bunch of damage off. And if there's someone else in the area, that's even worse for them because that's almost guaranteed. It should be guaranteed a kill onto Burnaby North side. So it is 11 minutes into the game. There are no objectives being taken right now. So a lot of the lead is just through lane advantages itself. And yeah, no one really wants to go for any of the objectives. They want to get their laners ahead, as it seems. Yep, there goes the blue card, or the yellow card, but it doesn't get the Everfrost off. Probably saving it for a roam. Or maybe even a later all-in. We do see the Hecarim with his mythic being purchased right now with the chem tank, making him even more fast and even more dangerous, dealing more damage and even getting people or setting up kills for the rest of his team. He got Twisted Fate with the root off. He only got one auto off, activating his alternator. So it's not gonna be, or that was Vladimir's alternator, so it's not gonna be much, but it is gonna be worth it. The ultimate onto the Wukong, he's not gonna be able to do much. He's trying to run away, but he can't really. He was at the edges of the Mordekaiser ultimate, and all he could do is just wait for his death. So it's not really looking too good for top lane right now. Top lane, mid, and even jungler. It is screaming kind of a top and jungle diff. Not something you want to see, but it is something you really want in Burnaby North side. Bot lane is not doing, really not that interesting. They are looking for a dive. Hecarim is there behind them. He's going in onto the Kaisa and the Nautilus. Twisted Fate ultimate onto them, but they aren't gonna get anything off of them. So they just used up this Twisted Fate ultimate and for free, but they are still hovering over to the Kaisa. So unless they don't want to get the kill, so that's also fine, I guess. He could have opted into getting more of his camps, or maybe even getting dragged because they have priority there. They had priority a bunch of times. See, like the combo, he couldn't move. But the Twisted Fate did have to use his heal just to escape the Vladimir ultimate. And if he got anything off longer, then it wouldn't have been any good. Rek'Sai does look like he wants to go for the Rift Herald now. Or not. Okay, so we're still gonna be waiting for. Or he did, sorry. My bad. I didn't see that. He did get the Rift Herald. So that's our first objective in 15 minutes. So we do see the... Oh, that was nice reacting time. Really good. From the Vladimir. The Rek'Sai could have looked for a gank, but he did have a ward there, so it was a good idea to ping him off. And there we go, we traded objectives, top and bot. It was Rift Herald and Mountain Drake. First, in 15 minutes, we hit the 15-minute mark and we got our first objective, let's go. It's only took 15 minutes. But it's okay. An objective is an objective. The sad part is that Rek'Sai does not get any gold or turret plating off of any of the towers he so chooses. Okay, so the Burnaby North dive onto the Kaisa. That is going to be a kill onto the Vayne. So putting Burnaby North more ahead, as we saw in the last game. This does look like a GG go next because they do have the better scaling comp. They do have the Vladimir, the Kaisa, but they're not going to be able to do much if their opponent is more fed than him, so it's not gonna be looking like something that they could come back from. but we will have to see later on if they can do something, because as I said, Vladimir and Kaisa, they will scale. They did finish their items, their mythic items, as well as the Rek'Sai. And we will need to see where this Rek'Sai will plant this Rift Herald. We do see the freeze in bot lane, so it does look like they do not want to interact quite a bit, which is, I would imagine, is kind of a good play, because there is a lane swap from Burnaby North with the Twisted Fate going bot now. This does not look very good for Burnaby North. Okay, so Wukong just ate the Mordekaiser Q. I guess so. I don't know. Personally, I don't know what that kind of mind game that was. Trying to make it so that you think he's gonna. That is a clone, but he is gonna heal up all of that. Kaisa is still freezing. Invigorating gameplay from bot lane. Let's go. It does look like Hecarim wants to push his lane even further, trying to invade a lot more. But Nautilus is roaming to leave Kaisa get more of this solo farm. And I'm not sure what Twisted Fate is doing. Okay, Twisted Fate going in for the ultimate play, and that was really nice. Just ulting in, getting the gold card off, and she couldn't really do anything. He didn't even need to use Everfrost because she was already at half health. This puts their bot lane even more behind, and I would imagine that they want to target the Kaisa even more after this. She is kind of a big problem since Kaisa is fairly broken. Not as broken as before, but like not as broken as before, but still fairly strong. And it's nothing much that she could have done there. She didn't have any summoners up to counter or trying to flash away. So it's kind of unfortunate. It is looking like a GG go next. It is going to be on Burnaby North side. But we will need to see what will happen afterwards. There is game 3. There are reverse sweeps. We might see a reverse sweep from Vantech. You'll never know. "20 minutes, and we are gonna see a Infernal Drake now. So this won't be a Infernal Soul or a Mountain Soul. Mountain Soul being really good. Infernal Soul being quite decent for burst damage, but that's really all there is. It does look like they want to get Prio onto the Dragon this time, so they don't get an opportunity. It doesn't look like they can do much. Mordekaiser does have TP and has Prio, so if they end up wanting to fight for that, then they're gonna have to deal with the Mordekaiser's Wrath after he TPs, and even being able to take away the jungler with his ultimate. So it's not something that they can fight over again. This is looking like a Ocean Soul, so not a Cloud Soul, arguably the weakest one, but yep. So Cloud Soul is gonna be pretty good, I would think, because a lot of both would benefit pretty well. Sorry, not good. My English is very good, so it's not gonna be bad for both teams. It's gonna be fairly decent in both their fights, because a lot of especially Mordekaiser for his long extended trades that he likes doing, but they are also fairly tanky. I wouldn't think that Vladimir is a good, what's the word, an extended trade kind of champion. I'd like to think that he's more of just a burst kind of mage. I might be wrong. I haven't seen many Vladimirs these days, but Burnaby North with the 3 tower lead and the 8k gold lead. And they might see they pick onto the Nautilus. Doesn't look too well. Peckham tried to turn and drive by onto the Rek'Sai, but it's not gonna happen. He got knocked up, CC'd, he couldn't do much about it, couldn't move. And his teammates weren't in the area, so nothing going on onto the Rek'Sai. That is their 4th tower. 4-0 towers, not looking too well. There wasn't much of a lead really anywhere. It was mostly neutral onto the backside, but he does get the pull onto the Wukong, but it's not gonna lead up to much. Not lead too much. But yep, if he had his Q, then it would have been even better of a trade, but unfortunately he didn't. They are starving Rek'Sai off of his camps, so the so-called assassin is not being able to get his farm that well. So that's not looking very well. He needs his camps and his gold to even be effective. So they are trying to. They have a lot of vision onto their Vantex jungle, so it's not gonna look too well. They're gonna see where they're approaching in their jungle, if their camps are up, and even try to get some kills off of the opposite side if they happen to get the pick off. They are opting to Baron right now. They do have vision onto it, whereas Vantek does not, so they're not gonna see much of this. Twisted Fate applying pressure to their bot side. They're making sure that Vladimir stays bot, and they just gave away a free Baron, so what I call the scalar comp is looking like they're having a good. They're playing really well when it comes to what they want, so. So they can't really do much. There are no kills onto Vantek's side, so. It's not looking very well. They're gonna get the 3rd drag, and they're gonna have to give this one up too. It's starting to get to the point where they're not gonna be able to do much off of like anyone. Really, they have Baron, they're free to push, and they have leads, so. They also have the CC on their side, and Pekram being able to lock down Twisted Fate doing the same, and even Alistar doing the same. And if they even wanted to go for a dive, Alistar can even pop his ult while they're going in for the dive, so. It did look like Wukong wanted to go for a trade, but it didn't lead for much. They are gonna get a pick onto the Nautilus, knocking him into the Twisted Fate, and even CCing him even more. So it is gonna look like a Burnaby North kind of win with their 9 kills, and there's gonna be their 5th tower and their 6th. Okay, so they are at a 10k gold lead. If they end up throwing, then we might see a comeback, but I don't imagine that happening anytime soon. They still have Baron. And I don't think I've seen Mordekaiser ult anywhere, or sorry, TP anywhere but his lane. He's just keeping Wukong in his lane this entire time. He's not giving the opportunity to even fight back. A lot of Vantech is just playing defense and cleaning up their waves, so they're not gonna be able to do anything with the other side of the map. Burnaby North are free to just take whatever they please, even their junglers or their jungle camps. So a lot of them are just sharing farm, not really sharing farm, but they are just farming minions that just come up to them, and they can't really go up that far without being threatened or being in fear of getting picked off. If we do wait 2 more minutes, we can't see them secure the soul or maybe even Baron. But not gonna really happen. Wukong is opting to recall into the brush. They're trying to get a pick onto the Rek'Sai. And we got the shutdown onto the Nautilus from the Vayne, so that's 1 shutdown. It is looking pretty good, not anymore. The Twisted Fate came in and they are sweeping up the rest of all the kills. We got a double kill onto the Hecarim and a kill onto the Twisted Fate, and Wukong can't really do anything because he's stuck with a Mordekaiser with ult. So if he tries to run away, then he just ults him. So this is gonna be a fairly clean game. It is gonna be a Burnaby North win. Really close to a perfect game, but not always what's gonna happen. They did have the kills onto the Nautilus, funny enough. But yep, so Vladimir trying to fight them off. They can opt to end or not. Yeah, sorry, their players are coming back. So we are gonna drag this out a bit further, but I don't expect to see much going to happen. They have the Oceans soul fairly soon. Both Baron and Ocean Drake coming in under a minute. They can secure Ocean Soul and they will need to fight over this, but if you've been paying attention for the past couple or even the entire game, it's not gonna look very hot for them. They've been winning a lot of the team fights and it's hard to get picks. They are looking for the Hecarim, so did not check around the corner of the Krug, so he gets away and he's gonna make it back to the Dragon Pit, and they're already posted up, so Burnaby North has the advantage right now and they can just pressure them off. But Twisted Fate, he does have ultimate soon and he does have ignite exhaust this time, so it's not gonna be too good. So he can ult in. There is gonna be a fight initiating by the Alistar. The Kaisa blasting over and the Hecarim onto the Kaisa, trying to backline or tagger the backline. The Mordekaiser taking onto the Nautilus, and that comes to a double kill. They can't really do much. They're really strong right now. Their team fight is really good. They're gonna just probably end. The Kaisa is trying to run for their life. And that's gonna be the win to Burnaby North. That one team fight decided it all, and it was pretty decisive. The minions are trying to or ending the game right now, so we got minions. So and they could even kill the Kaisa right now. So nice. So that there goes their kill onto the Mordekaiser to end the game for Burnaby North. That was a fairly dominant game from Burnaby North, and it didn't look like Vantech could do much because of that. So it was pretty decisive. So they couldn't do much. I would have. It's not looking too hot for Vantech, but there's always the third game. This game though, it was not looking the best. Right, the Mordekaiser got through, the Hecarim got through. They allowed those two picks to sneak through the draft and or the ban phase, and that's what happened. They got the champs that worked last game. They picked it again, and that's what happens to when you don't ban out those champs that did particularly well. The gold lead is looking fairly dominant. There were around 3,000 for the 3,000 gold lead for top lane, jungle and mid lane. So that is where it's gonna. That's where is where a lot of their gold went. But they did end up getting their lead onto the Vayne as well. So if they let Kaisa be for any longer, it might have been game over because he couldn't. He could have gotten more off of it. So. All right, so that's it for game two. We're gonna be running into an intermission. Stay behind for in a couple of minutes, where we get to see game three, and we will see if Burnaby North can close out this game or Vantech can come back in a game of their own. All right, welcome back to the third game of Burnaby North versus Van Tech. Guess what they did in the pro draft? They banned Mordekaiser. Though after winning 2 games, they finally decided to ban Mordekaiser. You would think that they would have banned him the first time or the second time, but they didn't end up doing it. On Burnaby North side, they did ban their standard Graves, Leona, Victor as they did last game. Van Tech, they did Yone, Aurelia, then Mordekaiser. So we were waiting for, or at least I was waiting for the Mordekaiser ban on the third one. But what's interesting is that Van Tech this time took the Hecarim. So they didn't want to straight out ban the Hecarim. They wanted their tank Hecarim for themselves and set up for a lot of the team. So I would like to think that's pretty interesting. Also on Van Tech's side, we do see the Jin Karma coming back in the bot lane. On Burnaby North side, we see Seraphine and Ezreal, which is a kind of a weird combo. I don't really see Seraphine Ezreal as the combo, but it is the combo they chose to choose for their bot lane. Burnaby North, their top lane is the Aatrox and the Jarvan. So Aatrox into Camille, so they're gonna be fighting it. If Aatrox can land his Qs properly onto their knockups, then it's gonna be very interesting. It's gonna turn more, I wouldn't like to say turn more Camille favored, or sorry, Aatrox favored, but it is going to be a lot better for Aatrox this time. But if Camille can dodge his abilities, then it's gonna be even better for Camille. And if Camille takes Ignite, then it's gonna be even worse for Aatrox because he can't function without healing. Or not really function that well without healing. For mid lane, we have Orianna and Kiana. So, when have you seen Kiana in even pro play? I don't think you've ever seen Kiana in pro play yet. So this is going to be interesting in the mid lane. We do remember Kiana as a roaming champion and kind of a interesting teamfight champion, because if they're in the river or even in the jungle, then it's going to be really good for Kiana. But if they're in the middle of the lane, it's kind of harder to hit your ultimate. So if Kiana finds her situation to be not in the middle of the lane, then it's going to be a lot better for her. But on Orianna's side, she's going to scale harder, but she is going to have the range advantage when it comes to Kiana. But Kiana can look for these all-ins and even dodge some of Orianna's Qs with her W. But that does leave Kiana more vulnerable because she can't really escape, right? She has to commit her W and then look for a trade. But if she goes too deep or goes all the way in, then it's not going to look too hot for her. So this is going to be more of a balance between how Orianna can counter the zoning from Orianna, and if Orianna can keep up her zone. Hecarim versus Jarvan. Honestly, I'm not too sure who wins this that much. So I would like to imagine that Hecarim is going to have more impact early. But at the same time, Jarvan also has pretty good ganks. So unlike the Rek'Sai pick from last time when Van Tech played, Van Tech played Rek'Sai into Hecarim. This time they have the Hecarim, and this is the answer to their Hecarim pick, the Jarvan. It's gonna be, I would like to think it's a lot better than the Rek'Sai pick because Jarvan can actually counter gank. Right? As long as he's in the area, he can counter gank. He plants his flag down and he goes into it and they get knocked up, and that's an opening, right? especially for even Kiana, because Kiana really does well in skirmishes. She could do burst trades, but not really like zero to death a Oriana, because she still can get away if she can dodge whatever Kiana throws at her. But we do know that Kiana can EQ and is a guaranteed hit on the Q. So as long as Oriana plays this properly, then she is going to do fairly well in the mid lane matchup. And if Oriana gets to push in Kiana a lot more, or yeah, if she gets to push into Kiana, then it's gonna be really hard for Kiana just to rope. For the bot lane, honestly, I'm not too sure about these combinations. Seraphine, Ezreal, kind of two champs you don't really see together. Shin and Karma we saw 2 games ago. They did fairly well. They did okay. Right? They didn't do amazing, but they didn't dominate. They kind of went even, and after their first death, they just stayed somewhat neutral, and they were able to keep up, but they did end up losing that game. But this time they have an Ezreal Seraphine. Right? So they banned out the... Actually, they didn't ban out any champs in the bot lane, so they had whatever they wanted to pick bot lane, so... Okay, we do see that Camille with Grasp going for more sustain than damage than we're used to. It's not a big deal, but they don't have the biggest tank right now because Aatrox has mad sustain, and then Jarvan is also a tank, but he might go Bruiser this time. He's going Conqueror, but you never know. As it comes right now, I think it's kind of even right now. So if you look at Burnaby North's comp, they're scheming a lot of... They have an Assassin, they have a Bruiser, they have Aatrox. Aatrox is a different breed. But yeah, I would assume that they would do better early, just because of the way their comp is right now. I would like to think that Vantech has the better scaling comp, just because of their Oriana, their Jhin too. Jhin is a fairly strong champ as well. And if Hecarim is going tank, then that's even better for him, because tanks use Strive in late game with all their armor and all their ability haste, and they can't really do anything. But it's kind of the same that could be said with Burnaby North, because Seraphine, when she gets Moonstone or Moonstaff, as the combination is called, it's gonna be pretty hard to deal with all the healing, and he gives such good shield, so it's gonna be harder for her. Both junglers are standing at opposite sides of the map this time rather than last game, so they will not meet in the middle, or not in the middle, at the same lane or top lane. Both opting for a full clear, and we do see the Seraphine in the brush, and she just tried to go for poke, but none of it lands. Okay, so Karma read that coming and sidestepped the heck out of Seraphine. Let's go. Well, she couldn't sidestep that one. Okay, so that's kind of on her. We don't see anything too crazy going on right now. We do see the quick trade onto Oriana. That is a quarter of her health. And that's what she can do if she has the ice element, and she just Qs you, and picks up the Earth element and just Qs you again. That's a reset. You do see the gank, and it's the early gank. It does not land, unfortunately. Just quiet, just a bit out of lane. She did get the damage onto the Orianna, and this is gonna make it harder for her. We can maybe see the dive onto the Aatrox or not. Okay, that's fine as well. Aatrox does have TP. They both have TP this time. I would like to think that Camille with Ignite would have been better for the lane, but if he wants to play around his team a lot more, then that's up to him. So right now, it does look more so that top and mid lane, when it comes to the dueling aspect, they are gonna do quite a bit better, especially mid lane, because Orianna is not the greatest champ early. But they'll never know. We do see the quick trade onto the Aatrox with the W. He misses his trap. He hits his second Q. The Hecarim coming in from behind. He need to use his flash. He steps behind them and he gets away with his life, having to use his flash. And they were under tower. Hecarim was under tower with nothing to get away with, no minions. So he was just eating tower the entire time. He couldn't get anything off, but that is a flash off of Aatrox, making it really easy for... Or it's going to make it easier for Camille to outduel the Aatrox. So... the Jarvan going in for another gank. He gets the Q, he gets the knockup, and it goes to the Jarvan for the first blood. The Jarvan did also invade his jungle. Actually, I lied. He did not invade the jungle. I'm sorry. I'm lying to all of you. So we did see the Aatrox need to use all his sums just to come back into lane and even come back. And same with Orianna, even when she died. So there are no sums with top and bot when it comes to Aatrox and Orianna, so those are the prime targets right now. They should be the prime targets. Jarvan is invading the blue side, and he's going to take the wolves and possibly the Gromp if he comes up in time. Probably not, but that's alright because he just gets a camp ahead of Hecarim. Yeah, Burnaby North's jungler, mid laner, and their top lane are looking really good in these matchups right now, or as mechanically right now. They're going for the trade really quick onto the Aatrox and the Camille. They both got to under half health. The Jarvan is there. He can look for the dive. They are looking for a dive right now. The Camille is a prime target, but it doesn't look like he's gonna get the dive really soon. The minion wave isn't good enough for a dive. So I've said dive for like 3 times. It's okay. The Jarvan got to get rid of or take camps away. You do see the ultimate onto the Orianna. The Kiana needs to flash out of that, or else the Hecarim would have come in and ruined his fun. From him winning lane, I think 2 out of the 2 times. So this is going to be an Ocean Drake. We're not going to see the same Ocean Drake as last time. So this can be a Cloud Mountain or Infernal Drake. The Camille does want to look for a trade or even a kill onto the Aatrox. The Camille ult coming in, the Hecarim coming in from behind. This is going to be the kill onto the Aatrox. He does not get level 6. He can't heal any of his health back, so that's going to be another kill onto the Aatrox. This is looking like a better game for Vantech. Especially for top side. He removed the ability to... what's the word? To win lane with his Mordekaiser. And after being banned the Mordekaiser, then it's kind of looking lost. He goes to ultimate, the dive onto the Orianna. Does he come out alive? And he does. He almost caught the second hit onto from the turret. But the Hecarim is coming in to clean up. She does not have anything. The Jarvan coming in to save Kiana's life. They are free to move. And Seraphine also coming in just to make sure that Kiana comes out alive after being able to successfully dive the Orianna. The Orianna does not have ult, or did not have ult at the time, and Kiana did ult the tower, and that does count as terrain for Orianna. The same goes for Jarvan's ult. I learned that like I think 2 weeks ago, right? The Kiana can ult Jarvan's ult, and that kind of makes it even better for Kiana or even their team comp. So if Jarvan gets to ult someone and they all happen to be in there, that's a really quick trade. Oh my god. Yeah, but if Jarvan gets to ult someone and Kiana has the ult, then that goes a lot of their health. They're stunned. The Hecarim looking onto the Kiana right now. But it doesn't look like anything's gonna happen. The Karma's posturing up too. Might look for a dive onto the Kiana. But it doesn't look like Kiana, or they don't have the right freeze right now. So nothing's gonna happen. Hecarim staying there for no reason. He looked like he wanted to recall, but now he has camps on his top side. So there he goes. That was a nice attempt at the trade. He did miss his first Q. If he landed his E, as I said before, he could have, but he needed to E to a minion to hit that Q. And he tried to do it again, and if she has ult, she can kill her right now, but it doesn't look like it. They're on drag, and they get the first drag. Nice. Unlike last time, 15 minutes. This time we are almost 10 minutes. But Kiana really wants these kills. Jarvan is posturing. So they are looking for another dive. She can ultimate, and it does not come in time. The dive going unsuccessful. Orianna getting the kill onto the Jarvan, and she's still alive. Same goes with Aatrox. He comes out having to use his ult and his flash just to get out of the gank up top from the helicopter. Right now they can opt, Vantech can opt into getting Rift Herald right now, but actually maybe not. Jarvan is coming in quite soon, and Kiana is moving in, trying to look for the Hecarim, and just gonna stop the recall. They have 3 of them right now, and they are in a position to even fight them, or maybe even get the Rift Herald off. Orianna doesn't want to deal any with it, so she's just gonna ward top rush and clear the vision on the control board. If we look back into bot lane, another who can see us the fastest. But this time we have the Ezreal CSing a lot better. So this is gonna look like Ezreal's gonna come up at the top. Jarvan is posturing up top. There's a control ward, so they can't see the Jarvan right now. They can look for the dive, but it doesn't look like it's going to be any successful. If the Camille went in any further than she could have, or the Jarvan could have dove in, but she made the right call and to just not try to go in for that trade. She does have wards on the back side, so if she really needed to stay near tower and minions are coming after her, she can see if anyone is coming in and prepare for that. "12 minutes in, and this is looking a lot closer than last time. This was a very Burnaby North dominant game, and it seems to be doing a lot better for them, especially top lane. Top lane is actually fairly ahead. As so does their jungler. Hecarim wanting to go onto the Jarvan, but it doesn't look like they can. None of them were in the position to. Karma all roaming up to the Kiana, but there was a control ward, so she did see the Karma coming in. They are looking for the invade, but this doesn't look very good for the Brilliant Vantech. The ultimate goes off for the Camille and the Aatrox. They both come out alive. Camille had to Aatrox to avoid any of the damage. The Aatrox need to trying to look at for an all-in. They both get out, just getting some damage off, and the Kiana is back behind. The Orianna is TPing up to make sure that nothing goes on, nothing will happen, and Burnaby North doesn't get that much ahead. So that was just a safety precaution, but it does make it so that Orianna does not have TP anymore. So if she needs to make any plays somewhere else on the map, then it's not gonna be too well. Or if she dies and there's a wave pushing in, then she can't really save it. The good thing is that Orianna did push in her lane, or it was in a position where it wasn't gonna be too bad, so she didn't really lose much out of that. But we do see the bounty on the Ezreal. Let's go. After farming for 15 minutes, almost 15 minutes, Ezreal has the first bounty. Let's go. The bounty you get is on a ADC farming. We do see the trade onto the Aatrox. Aatrox trying to go in for more, but that's already half his health. Both of them do not have their ultimates, so if Camille goes in, she is gonna win in the trades because Aatrox cannot do much because of that. She can zone with her W. Is it her W? I don't remember. She is going for the trade. Hecarim coming in. The ult, she flashed out of the ult. The Hecarim's cleaning up for the Orianna. Orianna was about to die because of Kiana. If you saw the Kiana combo, those are the things you could do with Kiana. She is pretty good champ, just no one really wants to play her, and you're seeing right now what she can do. The flash ult onto the Karma, but the Karma needed to use her flash just to get out of that and not get free pick for the Ezreal, because Ezreal right now is looking fairly strong with the SS Reaver already. They are gonna start drag because they have the Prio. They do not have Prio actually. Jhin walking up, but their Hecarim is top lane right now. They're focusing a lot on their top laner to get for Camille to get the lead. Camille looking for the quick trade. And she does get around a third of her health off of the Hecarim. Jarvan is still behind enemy lines. They could look for a dive, but if it doesn't freeze onto their or it doesn't crash onto the tower, it's not gonna happen. Camille is looking really dominant right now. She is around 40 CS above. She took turret shot for free, but it's okay. She dealt damage to Aatrox. It's worth in my books because she took the same amount of damage. So she also has a kill onto Aatrox, so it's looking really well. She does have her Grievous Wound item already. So it's looking really... It's not looking too hot for the Aatrox as of right now. The Orianna being able to come back in mid lane, it's going pretty even. As for the who could see as the best bot lane, Ezreal is already almost at 200 CS. He is over 10 CS per minute. Or he is 10 CS per minute. Okay, so 10 CS per minute is really good. It's looking like a Doingby Rice hack. Looking up to Doingby. Okay. This is a change, and there is a change in their power levels in terms of jungle. Jungle in Vantech are doing better as of right now, having even a 10 CS lead, even though that's not that negligible. And an assist, he is going to be able to get more. The Jarvan coming in with the ult off of the Seraphine. Heckram coming in trying to save the day. Aatrox coming for the TP and Camille coming in for the TP, but it's not going to be really worth it at that point because the fight is already over. That was two good ultimates off of the Camille. They're going into the re-engage of the Camille, focusing the Camille really hard. They got the Seraphine up. Ezreal has to flash the ult behind him. That is the shutdown for the Orianna, and the Aatrox is left alive. The Kiana and the Jarvan coming back, but they are gonna disengage after that. That is really nice. They came up ahead. Or it was sort of even. The Orianna got the shutdown and was there for most of the fights. So Orianna is overall going to come out ahead in that. But we did see that Ezreal has 2 kills now. So that's 2 kills over 2 assists. If you know how many kills and assists give, then you know that Ezreal is very ahead. He's able to just get Duskblade outright. So this is looking really good for Ezreal, for their bot lane. So this is looking like a turnaround for Vantech as of right now. So they're trying to look for the pick onto the Jarvan, but Jarvan can escape. And this is 20 minutes into the game, and there is no Rift Herald. Okay. But there is 2 drags off of Burnaby North. Another quick trade off Kiana, that's pretty flashy. If I do say so myself, I play Kiana and I can't do that. So I'm kind of envious off of that Kiana player who can do those combos. So their win con right now, it's looking like the Camille is looking to carry through the mid game and even through the late game if she's able to stay at that power level. Aatrox does have Gore Drinker, but the Grievous Wounds on, the Camille is still gonna be quite the problem for the Aatrox side. And even this Jarvan. Jarvan's going for Bruiser, the Gore Drinker as well. Orianna is looking Heckram and Orianna is looking for bot side right now. And they might just opt to do Mountain. So this is gonna be a Mountain solo for this game. Looking to be pretty good for especially Kiana's burst. Camille also coming down just to make sure that they don't end up losing anything. The Ezreal ult tried to steal the drag, but it's not gonna happen. Both teams in terms of gold are going pretty even, but you do have the 2 drags from previous. The Ocean Drag and the Cloud Drag giving you the cooldown reduction for your ultimate, but honestly, who is that really for? It's really just for the Seraphine after her nerf. She is level 10, she's gonna get her, I forgot how much was it? Just half of what the nerf was. Camille is going to Blast Cone over, trying to get the chunk off of the Jarvan. She does get around a third of her health, the Jarvan's health down, so... But he does have Gore Drinker. If you look at his health right now, it's already at full. Because he has Gore Drinker, he's healing, and he did use Smite. So the longer the game does go, I do think Vantech has the advantage. So if this is the reverse 3-0 you're looking for, then this might be it. Going for the quick chunk on the Orianna and the Aatrox, both needing to disengage. Hecarim posturing top, could look for a dive. But Aatrox is going to disengage all the way over there. The chunk onto the Kiana. They're both really low, needing to both recall, but Orianna needs to stay or she'll lose this. She did Zhonya's in time. She bought Zhonya's before her mythic, but it doesn't matter because Jarvan comes in with the ult and saying you're not going anywhere. And there goes the shutdown to the Jarvan. Jarvan coming back after that deficit. Or the current diff. I can't think of words right now. It's okay. Jarvan tried to create his lead or close the gap even further by invading, but Hecarim was there to stop whatever he could have done. So it's not going too bad for both of them. It is sort of even if it's just 300 gold lead for Vantech, but that's not very negligible at this point. It's really just boots. And that's pretty much it. And the only one who has boots, just tier 1 boots, is the Aatrox. So what is interesting, if you look at all the items, is that if you look at Burnaby North side, 4 of them have Ionian boots. So the 4 Ionian boots versus the 2 Ionian boots and the 3 status. I forgot. They're called Ninja Tabbies to me, and I'm just gonna call them Ninja Tabbies. But they're the 3 Ninja Tabbies. We'll see who win. The 3 Ninja Tabbies and the 2 Ionian boots, or the 4 Ionian boots. It does look like Vantech might do a lot better. They're gonna see that Jarvan and Seraphine are both looking for the pick onto, or the skirmish onto the bot lane, but there is going to be the quick trade onto the Aatrox again. Aatrox isn't able to do much. Already half his health, she's looking for the dive. He is going to commit both her ults, but Aatrox is not going to come out alive after that. The Hecarim coming in to save the day, save the fight from going south onto Vantech's side. So this is gonna put Vantech even further up. Kiana is looking for the cleanup onto the Camille, but Camille is already in halfway through their lane, so they can't do very much. What is not what is interesting, but what did happen is that bot turret went down and Jhin and Karma couldn't do much because Jarvan was there, so they did even out the score. So, but they did also end up ahead, even if it's like 1 boost of swiftness. So they did even out the score quite a bit, but they are looking for the 3rd drag. The TPN coming in from the Aatrox. They are going to have to disengage. They do have the priority in this dragon, so if they want to go into steal, the Hecarim drive-bys they can look for that, but it doesn't look like it's gonna happen. They are gonna secure the drag, the Hecarim going in deep onto their enemy, but this is gonna be the sweep onto the Vantech side. They did end up ahead, even if the Hecarim did go onto the back of their team, the Burnaby North's team. It's not gonna do much because Aatrox, Jarvan, and even Kiana is at their front line, and they're hitting their Orianna, their Jhin, their damage dealers quite a bit, and they couldn't really do much because of that. So Hecarim was there alone, being the tank, and since he's not going for damage, it's not gonna do he's not gonna deal damage to his backline. So after what seemed to be the better early game from Vantech, it does seem to be that Burnaby North is going to be coming back. So. So we do have the score of 6-9. As much of this is a funny number. The Camille coming back in, the Hecarim coming in from behind, both of their ults going off. And this is going to be another kill onto the Aatrox, and this is going really slow. The healing going really insane. They need to nerf that champion even harder. I think maybe even if the item, the Gorge Drinker. He's healing way too much, honestly. But yeah, so this was gonna be a very committal. Aatrox was going down, but Aatrox, if anyone were to pull up and save Aatrox, this could have turned differently. But unfortunately, no one was there to help Aatrox, and Aatrox just went down. So yeah, Aatrox has too much healing. So I still think Aatrox has too much healing. Like Aatrox specifically. It's not like it's. I would call it kind of biased, but I've died too many Aatrox in my game, so. And Ignite is somehow not enough. Also, partly because we're also in a team fight and no one's focusing Aatrox, and you shouldn't focus Aatrox because there's also things unless he's incredibly fed. So there is a 2,000 gold lead, around the 2,000 gold lead. So this is looking a lot better for Burnaby North. Fantech is trying to close the gap. It's no longer 6-9. But it's gonna be 7-9. It lasted maybe like a minute, but our fun is over. So the Kiana going on to the quick trade, the ultimate going off, and that goes the burst. The Camille coming in, trying to clean up the kill. The Camille can very well clean up, but Seraphine as Ezreal are coming in from the mid through river, so she can't really kill the Kiana without being in fear of the Ezreal and the Seraphine. We do see the small skirmish where the two tanks are slapping each other with whatever they had, but the Ezreal coming in quick enough. The Jhin ult coming in as well. Couldn't really do much. The Camille finally grabbing the kill on the Camille or the Kiana, but it's not gonna be that worth it because we do see the Baron starting up and they take it really fast. So they couldn't really react to that. The Baron goes to Burnaby North. And with their lead right now, it's looking very favorable for Burnaby North. So looking very strong right now. In terms of turrets, we do see 3 for 3, but this doesn't make up for the fact that Burnaby North has 2 more drags than them. They could pressure for soul, or even end. Really, their Baron buff should last long enough. The Drake is coming in 10 seconds. So if they wanted to push to take even more towers or even get an inhibitor. At this point in the game, getting an inhibitor is pretty good, as you can even get even more off of it. Or they can even opt to fight for their soul. So it does look like it's gonna be a take up for the Vantech coming in to take the kill. And Hecarim goes down. He tries to escape from it, but there are too many ultimates that stun him or even CC. But that does leave for Vantech to take the drag, stopping the buff from Mountain Soul. But the kill onto the Hecarim does indeed get through. So although they stall out the Mountain Soul, if they cannot create or close the gap not enough, but quick enough, then we will have to see Burnaby North winning this one. So we do see that there are a lot of they can't really do much from the, or even both of the teams can't really do much. The Camille looking for the play onto the Aatrox, but can't really do much off of that. So she just gets a quick poke and leaves with like 100 HP off of the Aatrox. They are trying to get more towers. They got 2 towers off of the Baron, if I'm not mistaken. And that's gonna make it a 6k gold lead. Making that gap even further. We have Seraphine with a Moon Staff combination, so she's gonna be able to buff up her teammates even more. And Seraphine being a pretty strong support champ as well, she's gonna be quite a big threat. There are a lot of armor pen on Ezreal, and even Kiana is going for armor pen, so it looks like they're gonna target the Hecarim a lot more, or deal a lot more damage from them dealing their 80 damage. Honestly, I don't know where I was going, but let's just go with it. So we do see four of their team in the bot jungle, taking more of Hecarim's jungle. And what we saw of the farm diff from Hecarim at the beginning of the game now becomes a farm diff on the Jarvan. So yeah, Hecarim can't really do anything because of that. They ended up getting a lead, and Jarvan is quite fed right now with a 5k bounty. So he has quite the target on his back, but he does have Ravenous Hydra, Gore Drinker, S6 Gauge, 3 healing items, so yeah. So they only have 1 Ignite on their team, with everyone else going Grievous Wounds. Actually, they only have 2 Grievous Wound items, Camille and Hecarim. So if they're not in the fight with Jarvan and Aatrox, then that's gonna be quite a bad if Karma can't get the Ignite off. Okay, Hecarim trying to look for a poke or a trade onto, or trying to fight the Seraphine and the Ezreal, but it's not gonna go really well because they do find out that Hecarim is in the bush and can't really do anything. If we look at top lane, there is a lot of towers. They have the same amount of towers. They're at their inhib tower right now. So if Camille wanted to even commit to split pushing hard, then she can even do that. But right now, Elder Drag is coming, or sorry, the Mountain Soul is coming up for Burnaby North in 15 seconds, not Elder Soul, because I forgot that Hecarim drove by and kidnapped that away from him. The Jhin coming in with the ult. It doesn't look like it should have been an ult. It doesn't look like it should have been a good ult. Honestly, he should have waited for them to pick it off. He doesn't have the pressure anymore unless they take the engage right now. They're dragging it out, which makes it harder for them to go in. He pushes them away. This does look like it's gonna fight. The dragon is going to reset. So the progress is gonna be gone. It's going back to around 6,000 health. Both teams are going in and out of this fight. Honestly, I think Burnaby North should just go in because they have the gold lead, but they don't have the engage right now. The Dragon's going down, the Seraphine ult, the red driver coming up for the kill, the Hecarim coming in with the ult at the backline, but that's not going to do much because everyone is going past him and their backline is just free to target the Hecarim. Hecarim being the front line and being the CC, he isn't there to clean up or try to peel the Jhin or even the Orianna, so all the damage goes on to those two, and even the Camille trying to soaking up all of that. So this is gonna be game over for Vantech, and it's looking like GG for the game and a win for Burnaby North. They are gonna end. None of them are up in time. Jhin is gonna be up in 10 seconds. But that's not gonna be enough time to just get in time. So yeah. So you do have your first place for the league. For league, it goes to Burnaby North and Vantech coming into second. So Vantech coming for their early game, it was a lot better than last time, but it wasn't enough to solidify their victory. If they kept up snowballing after that, maybe that would have been a different story, but it could have been even better. But yeah, so yep, if we look at the goal right now, it was Camille mostly running through. So yep, Camille coming through with their early game, but it's not gonna be enough when Jarvan comes through with his ganks onto other laners, especially bot lane and the Kiana, who even got to roam for free. Okay, so we are gonna have a post-game interview with Burnaby North. So we'll just have a quick intermission just to wait on them, and we'll see you right after this intermission. All right, congratulations to Burnaby North for winning the league playoffs over Vantech. Just quickly, how do you feel about winning even pretty dominantly 3-0 against Vantech?
We're definitely very happy about it. Last year, me and our mid laner, we played in MVSSEA, and we had dreams of winning the whole thing, right? But there were a lot of other teams. They're really strong. They just played better than us, and we ended up fourth in the entire thing. And this year, we came back with a new team. Even though we lost a lot of our members, we came back and we managed to win it all. And I think we're really happy about that.
Nice. Okay, so when it came to what you thought you did differently from last year, what do you think went better this time? Was it something to do with communication, or maybe even drafting, or was it something along the lines of maybe the different players meshed together with the players you had drafted?
I think it's really hard to directly compare differences between last year's roster and this year's roster. Like with any roster with different players, you're going to have completely different playstyles and opinions. So it's not very easily comparable there. But one thing I would like to say about this year's roster, we definitely didn't just mesh better from the start, and we definitely weren't just necessarily better than last year's roster. I think this year, we had a rocky start basically. Like we ended up with some role swaps, and we were originally considering having our support mid lane and our mid lane support. And then when we did role swap, our support player, right, he doesn't actually play support. So then when he role swapped, he was making a big sacrifice for the team, and he had to work very hard to figure out the role. And we had a lot of communication issues at the start, and we slowly figured out what champions would work with him. And I guess this year we just did a lot better at adapting to what our players could do and what our team could do.
That's really nice to hear when it comes to during playoffs or even round robins, you get to adapt even to what's happening. And when you're even having troubles, getting to that point where you're gonna fix those troubles, it makes the team a lot stronger. When it comes to even your draft, right? So when it comes to your draft, do you think that you were able to kind of counterpick or even get your champions to a point where they're playable in draft, or was it something along the lines of it was more of you just happen to get something that's working pretty well for you?
I think this year we put a lot more emphasis on draft as a whole. Like I remember last year, I just had no idea what I was doing. And I don't think the rest of our team had as good of an idea either. And this year we spent a lot longer thinking about draft. However, I think a key facet of our team is just adaptability. Like whenever I look at our drafts in like the first game of best of ones or like best of threes or best of fives, I always think to myself, like, we got Draft Kingdom. Like our draft does not look better than theirs. But then we go in game and it often ends up working out. And I think part of that is taking into account what champions we're good at, because there isn't one objective best like way to draft for every single team, because none of us are perfect players, right? We don't have champion oceans. I think the one big advantage that we do have is our drafts are fairly adaptable. And I mentioned this earlier, and how this manifests would be in like in the second game, right? In the third games, I think oftentimes, no matter what the enemy team decides to ban out, we're able to flex around that and still find picks that work, because a lot of our players can play multiple champions decently effectively. And then with that extra year of experience from last year, I think a lot of us had chances to play in a coordinator environment, and it's just so different from solo queue. And I think that helped a lot.
Yeah, definitely. We did see that you guys were kind of even in game 1, and then you guys were kind of dominant in game 2 and even game 3. So I kind of want to point my finger or kind of put the spotlight on your top laner. So in game 1, your Mordekaiser won pretty dominantly. Game 2, it let it go free, and when it comes to your Aatrox, you were kind of on the weak side, but you were still kind of in there, right? So how did it feel to finally get not really finally get your Mordekaiser banned, but what did you think when Mordekaiser finally got banned after you dominating twice?
Anyways, our type one is Kevin. I'll give him a chance to speak.
All right. I was initially excited to play Aatrox, to be honest, but after the few nerfs that he got with his items and his kit, I do believe that I was not confident with my skills, especially when I have not touched the champion in I have not played the champion very well recently, especially. So I expected to become weak side, and I also expected to just be very defensive and not aggro or fight as much in lane.
All right, and for my final question is: do you think that next year are any of you graduating? Is this your last one? And do you think that if anyone are staying, do you think that they'll be able to lead off kind of the new team, if there is a team for Burnaby North, or do you think that's gonna be more of open-ended question and you don't really know what's gonna happen?
This year, 4 of us are graduating. Everyone except for our support, because we're on grade 12. I think we had some trouble finding like enough people for a full roster this year, but I think there are definitely enough people who play League Out North. Like just today, during our second game, I was messaged by somebody on my friends list, so I wasn't sure who they were, and they told me that they were watching the game, and then I asked them about it, and I later found out that they were a grade 10 at Burnaby North. So I think it's just that we might not necessarily personally know many of the people who play League at North, but since League is just such a big game, you're always able to find more people. Like even the people on this team, right? I didn't know that many of them played League last year, and I wouldn't have counted them when I was thinking of how many people we would have for a team. So I think even though 4 of us are graduating, we're definitely going to be able to field 5 people at least for next year. Even if our team isn't as strong, I think it'll be interesting. And Marcus has gotten a lot more experience with coordinated play through this year, and maybe he'll be able to lead the team to victory again.
Yeah, for sure. For Marcus, good luck to you next year if you decide to go into the league team once again. And for the 4 of you, congratulations. And to the whole team, congratulations for winning the league playoffs.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. So that's gonna be the end for the league playoffs and even for the MVSSEA league. So again, congratulations to Burnaby North for the runner-up for Vantech. Also, congratulations being able to get through to even second and even finals. That's even a big accomplishment. You shouldn't underestimate Vantech. And yeah, so that's it from me and even from everyone else playing. So yeah, so we'll see you next time for whatever is going to be next in MVSSEA, whatever is going to be played next. But this is it for League, and we're going to be setting out right about now.